y'all, this is Ricky from Ricky's Pretties. If you're new to my channel, welcome, and if you've already subscribed, welcome back. Today I've got quite a mess going on here. We're going to be decorating this candle holder. I've got some gesso. I have some rubbing alcohol so we can clean our glass first. I have Mod Podge, I have some leaves and some flowers. I've got some bling. I've got some little earrings here. I've got some car wash lace. This is what I call car wash trim because it reminds me of the car wash that you go through. But anyways, that's what I call it. That's going to go around the top of our candle holder, and I've already got it measured. And then I have just a bunch of scrap lace that I've cut out. I've trimmed it up into neat little pieces, and I've got some little butterfly appliques that we're going to be using, and I've got these napkins. Most of the things that you see here I got from Debbie at Kiki's Sale. It's a Facebook group that I belong to. If you do want to go there to become a member of the group, when you click join, make sure you answer all of the questions, because if you don't, she's not going to admit you to the group. So make sure you answer all of her questions. I got these little mulberry flowers from her. I ordered this. This is German glass glitter. It's in pink. And I ordered this from Etsy. I'm going to probably use that today. I have some E6000, a glue gun. I have a little plate to put my paint and my Mod Podge on. I've got a little cup in case I need that. And I have a cutter because these earrings that I got from Debbie, I'm going to use those as a little dangle. And we're going to cut the post off of that. So, you know, you never know when you're going to need to trim something off. And this is an earring. So we're going to be trimming the little back off of that. So you'll need your cutters, you know, for anything that you may have that you want to use for your project that needs to be trimmed off. Now this doesn't have to have, this is made for, obviously for embellishment, but you can make embellishments out of anything, obviously. So, and this I already put together. It's just got a little, these are just little, I forget what you call these things. They're not yo-yos, but you just make your little flowers out of your lace or your material or a strip of material, whatever you have. You just gather it up and sew it together on one end, and then you stick them together with a little felt back, glue them together, and then you add a blingy piece on top. That's basically all that is. Anyways, I'm going to get this mess cleared away a little bit, and then we will begin our project. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay guys, we're back. First, I'm just going to clean this off with some rubbing alcohol. This is new, so I have to get it open. That might be just the thing to do that with. Okay, and yeah. So I'm just going to pour a little bit on this paper towel. Hopefully not make a mess, which I am notorious for doing. And I'm going to stick my hand inside here because I want to get all of our, I want to get dust and oil and everything off of this as much as we can, so that our paint will stick to it. Alright. Good. Plus, you know, alcohol dries really fast, which is nice also. Okay. Now, we're going to just begin painting it. And I only want one little coat on this. I'm not going to do a thick coat because this is going to be a shabby chic candle holder. Oh, that's still a little wet. This is going to be a shabby chic candle holder, so it's going to be wrinkly, and you'll see why we only want just a little thin coat on here. I will show you. But for now, we're just going to dab And we're going for texture on this piece, so yeah, this little sponge is perfect for that. I'm just going to sponge it on here. If you have a square sponge brush, that's fine too. You can apply this however you want. And I was going to say, if you do not have gesso on hand, that's fine. You can use acrylic paint. Just use some white acrylic paint. And that is all you'll need. It'll work just as well as the gesso. So I'm just going to work around this and dab it on. And putting it on thin like this, it's not really going to take any time at all to dry. In fact, I probably got too much paint out here. I may put just one more coat on. I don't know. We'll see. I really don't want to. And I'll show you why. I just want a thin coat. And we're almost all the way around our little jar here. And just gonna keep going. I needed to get outside and do some yard work today, but it's so windy outside. Oklahoma is so windy all the time. And you know, even with taking a Zyrtec, it's still just, you know, horrible to go outside right now because of all the tree pollen and everything still blowing around. It just rained, but there's so much of it that it's just terrible to spend any time outside at all. And I'm kind of mad because the last freeze that came through basically destroyed my little garden. I tried to cover it up best I could, but it was not effective, and most of my little plants froze, and the ones that didn't freeze are just barely hanging on and probably won't make it. So I can't decide whether to buy more plants or just give up on it this year altogether. Just say screw it and try it again next year. Just screw it probably isn't a nice term, but I'm from Oklahoma, we say it all the time, so if I offend, don't take offense to it. It's just, you know, my way of saying if it's messed up, I'll just I may just say forget it, forget about it. I guess that's what that means. Same thing. Okay. Gotta love doing videos. Maybe I will just go around this just a little bit more. I don't know. I kind of like how it is. It's looking kind of frosty, which is what I want. The bottom's not as important, I don't think, but you know, I want it done anyway. I just think it looks more finished if you do the bottom. Plus, we're going to put a light in there, and that will help diffuse the light. So, we are going to paint the bottom. Looking pretty good so far. Okay, making little spots. All right, I think we're gonna leave this alone. And yeah, I got way too much paint. That's what always happens. Okay, so I'm gonna set this down carefully. Hopefully I don't get my big finger. Well, parts of it are dry. I'm like, I hope I don't get my big fingers and a big mess on it. But no, I'll just grab the part that I can and we'll touch that little place back up. Ha 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 ha. Touch it up. This side get messed up. See. Oh, I think we're good. Okay, I am going to let that dry and then we'll be back. Okay guys, we're back and our vase is dry, our little candle holder is all dry, and we're gonna start putting our lace on there. And you're like, but Rick, we haven't decoupaged it yet. That's okay. We're gonna do the lace first and I'll show you why in a little bit. There is a guy on a little street bike going by occasionally, so you might hear him. He's very loud, but we'll just muddle through this video. I've kind of got these lace pieces out kind of the way that I want them to be, so we're just gonna start, but I'm gonna add some tissue paper. I've got my napkin I've got my napkin separated already, and this is the back to the napkin that I've shredded up, and we're going to be using those pieces. So I'm going to start with the bottom, and I've got my Mod Podge over here, and we're just going to start adding some tissue paper, or not tissue paper, napkin. I don't know why I keep saying tissue paper. I guess because I was working with that the other day. It's not tissue paper, it's napkin. You could use tissue paper, I suppose, and it might look pretty cool. But I don't want it to be as transparent in certain areas, so I prefer napkin for this particular project. And note, I don't care if it's wrinkled. Actually, we're going for textured here, so it doesn't matter if it gets wrinkled. Just stick it down. You don't have to lay the Mod Podge on too thick, you know, just a thin a little bit. Have a damp paper towel handy in case you get Mod Podge on you. It's always helpful so that your napkin's not sticking to you like that is. There's always something. Okay. So I can get down to the bottom of my jar there. Let me put this more this way so it's more in frame for y'all. I tend to hold these things close to my body so I can see, and then I forget that my phone doesn't stick out that far, so. So forgive me if that was a little out of frame. I'll try to remember to I'm going to move this over here because I'm right-handed. I think that might be a little easier for me. I'm going to move that down here. Just keep sticking it on there. That's all we gotta do is just keep going around. Didn't know that was gonna go up that high. Just gonna go ahead and stick it down. And we're almost all the way around here. You can kind of see how this is going. It's wrinkly, it's messy looking, and that is perfectly fine. It does not matter. And we're overlapping our napkins just a little bit. That's okay. As long as the napkin underneath it is wet and it sticks down good, that's fine. It's good to overlap it a little bit. It gives it a little more dimension. Dimension is cool. Especially since we're doing texture today. Okay, I'm gonna just have kind of a look around and see. I want a little more right there. It looks kind of bare up here. Stick that piece here. Okay, so you can see we've kind of textured the bottom of this a little bit with our napkin, the white napkin. Okay, now what we're gonna do next is we're gonna glue these pieces on top of that. Now, Fabri-Tac would work really well for this, but I'm just gonna use a little bit of triple thick because I've already got Mod Podge on there and I think it'll stick down just fine. I'm sorry, triple thick. I'm using E6000. We'll use triple thick later. I'm gonna use E6000 just to kind of stick this down. It's what I have. You can use whatever you've got. I watch this lady named Lori a lot too on Facebook. She's one of my favorite Facebook crafters, and she's got a Facebook page too. Her name's Lori, and she does Happy Birds Glitter Nest. I really like that channel. It's one of my favorite ones to watch. Her voice is so soothing, and she loves Fabri-Tac. She uses it on almost everything. I have yet to try it, but I'm going to as soon as I run out of this other stuff, because I think it would work fine. So let me see, where do I want my front? I think I decided I wanted it here. Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna put this right here. You'll see where I put that. Just gonna stick it down. Okay. All right, and then I'm gonna kind of eyeball where I want these other ones to go. I think I'm gonna go opposite with that one. Put it like right there. That way it looks uniform because all the daisies are on the bottom. I think I like that. I'm just going to kind of stick these so that I can make sure that I like where they're going. Before I stick them down all the way. There's some kids screaming outside now. Well, you know what? It's fine that they're playing outside. I hate it that the kids just like, video games all the time, spending all their time indoors. It's just not fun for kiddos, I don't think. Okay, so let's see. That's the one I stuck down. Somehow I wound up with two together like that, and that's not what I wanted to do. That's going to be the back. I think that'll be fine. This is already kind of sticking, so I'm just going to glue where it's not stuck. The Mod Podge is actually helping this to stick. So good for Mod Podge. Stick our napkin back down there. I think these are going to stick down good with the Mod Podge, so we may not have to glue them. Just going to add some more Mod Podge up here and call them stuck. Mod Podge is working pretty good, so yay! I didn't know it would glue this lace down, but it is. It's doing pretty good. Put some on there and glue it. Perfect. Glue it where it's not already stuck. I was just trying to see where I wanted them to go. But you know what? This is working out really well. All right, so those are stuck down really well. Okay, now for these other, we're gonna set this aside. For these, I'm gonna clean the glue off of my fingers real quick. For these other ones, I'm going to be placing those without putting the napkin down yet. We're going to just place these here and there. I think I like that one right there, so that's where I'm going to put that one. I'm going to put him right there. I can't lay the jar on its side because that glue is still wet, so we can't do that. But I'll stick him down and I'll show you where I put him. Put him right there. Okay. And I've got another one like that, so I don't want them to be together. So I'm going to stick that one over here on this side, kind of towards the back. And maybe up a little bit, about right there. So I'm going to put that one. Hopefully if this turns out the way I want it to, these are going to be like little windows for our candle holder. That's my idea anyway. We'll see how it works out. Sometimes you have these ideas and you're not sure if they're going to work or not until you get there. I want to make sure I get that down far enough because I've got my car wash stuff that I've got to put up there too. So before that dries, let me just make sure that that's going to work. And it will. That'll be just fine. Okay, so I've got this butterfly over here, and I've got this butterfly over here, and now I've got some more butterflies that I'm going to put around. And I think I'm going to put that one like that. I'm going to try to leave a space for some flowers up here too, so you've got to kind of plan your project this way. You'll see what I'm talking about in a few minutes. When we get all done with this, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about and what we need to do. Stick him down. Put him right there. And I've got him like that. Okay. Glue everywhere. And I think I'm going to put this one here, just like that. Like that. And then I've got one more that I think I'm going to stick right here. Or this way. I don't want him to go the same, oops, stick him down here. I don't want him to go the same direction as this one. I think I'm gonna set him right there. Like that. Okay. Glue everywhere. Okay, and I've got two more random pieces that I'm just gonna stick here and there, like one here. I'm gonna stick this one right here. About right there. Okay, and I've got one more that I'm gonna stick up here. Probably right about there. Okay, I'm gonna take a quick break, go get this glue off of my fingers, let this dry for just a minute, and then we'll be back. Okay guys, welcome back. This has had a chance to dry a little bit, and we're gonna continue adding some white napkin on up our jar. So I'm just gonna start here. And I've got the Mod Podge. And we're gonna start adding napkin. We're not gonna wanna overlap our windows too much. It's okay if we overlap this lace down here, but we don't wanna overlap what we're calling our windows, our butterflies up here. You can overlap them a little bit, but don't overlap too much. Well, this one up here, it's okay if you overlap, because we're not considering that to be a window. Our butterflies are going to be our windows. we're just going to keep working until we get this all where we want it. There's a little spot on that. I'm going to rip that off there. Tiny little black spot. I don't know where that came from. But we don't want it. We don't want it. Mod Podge just gets everywhere. It's kind of stinky too. It's stinky. Mod Podge is stinky. But it works well for what I use it for, so sorry y'all, I'll try to hold that out a little bit more under the phone here. I think I was holding it too close to my body again. I get kind of distracted working on this stuff and I forget where I'm at and what I'm doing. Let's see here. I kind of forget that I'm making a video. Guess y'all haven't figured out. I'm not the world's best at making videos, but I'm working on it. I'm trying to get better. I think I've improved a little bit. It's just, you know, there's a lot of stuff to it, especially when you're trying to use your phone. Editing videos takes forever. I'm not really going to edit this one too much, so I'm just going to like go with it. However it turns out, what we get is what we get. I've decided. Just going to try to work through it quickly and get it done best we can without editing. Okay, so I've got that little section done. Now we're going to move up to the upper section. There's a little spot that didn't get tacked down. Let's go ahead and tack it. Okay. And we're going to continue up this way. Still avoiding our butterflies, but it's okay if we cover up this scrap piece of lace. It's okay if we get napkin on that one. and tear off a little piece to go in between there. Probably not going to be detrimental if you overlap your butterfly a little bit, but you don't want to overlap the whole thing. If you get Mod Podge on it, that's okay too, because it's going to dry clear. Dump this out so I can see what I've got in here. I want a little straight piece. We're up here. Got this on my hands. It's so sticky. Kind of going and putting all my straight pieces around the top edge because I think that'll be just easier. And as you notice, I am not worried in the slightest about wrinkles. Wrinkles are A-okay. I missed a spot right there. Let's go ahead and get that one taken care of. I may have to get more napkin if I use all of it. I might be using it all. We're getting close. I like these little pieces for filler because they go in between really well. Sorry, y'all, I don't talk too much while I'm concentrating. And sometimes I think music is just annoying, so I don't always put music on with my videos. I have the last few, but you know, some people are annoyed by music, and so I think it's good to do a video every now and then without it, and without speeding it up so that you can see the whole process of what is going on. So I am not going to put music on this one or speed it up. We're just going to do the whole thing start to finish and hope that it's not 2 hours long, because it could be. I try to go fast, but I'm not always the fastest. I don't care if that one gets covered up, so we can use that. We can cover that one up and use that whole one in that little spot right there. Yeah. There we go. Good deal. From the big area to cover up right in here. Stick that in there. Because I think we made it. Just gonna go through and check it and touch it up and make sure I haven't left any bare spots. Oh, there's bare spots here. Let's go ahead and fill these in. Give me a little narrow strip to get right in there. Okay, I'm just gonna go around and check and make sure it's all stuck down and Mod Podged. I'm gonna lightly go over our appliques, just not real heavy. We want them coated, but we don't want them like soaking in Mod Podge. Okay, y'all, let's let this dry for a little while and we will come back. Okay guys, we're back. Our candle holder is dry enough. It's still tacky a little bit, but it's dry enough to where I can handle it. So I'm going to go ahead and continue with this. As you can see, it's very textured. We have our appliques, we have our lace. All of our little pieces are on here. And now we're going to add our floral decoration with our napkin. I have already torn some of these out. I do that. I tried it with a paintbrush and I didn't like that too well. So another YouTuber that I had seen had used Q-tips and water, and that works really, really well. Basically, I'll show you on this little one. All you have to do, essentially, to get your image the way that you want it is you just take your Q-tip and get it wet and pull very lightly. around your image. And you can cut the whole image out of your napkin this way, and you can get it really close to your design without actually tearing it. I love this method. I will continue using it because it works really well. So that's what I have, and I've got these Q-tips here in case I need to alter some of my other images in order to fit on our candle holder. So I think for this one, I'm going to place it, I don't want to cover up my butterflies because they're my windows, but I do want it to cover a lot of ground, so I think it's going to fit right here in between. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that there, right over the top of some of our lace. And that is perfectly fine. We don't need to cover our butterflies up because we already know it's not going to touch them. So let's go ahead and place that. I think that's going to be fine. It may overlap that one butterfly just a little bit, but not too bad. And again, if we don't want it to, we can just get rid of what we don't want. I'm just going to stick this down. I don't want to tear my napkin, which is why, you know, you've got to be careful with it and don't use too much Mod Podge. Your napkin's going to get wet and then it's going to stick to your fingers and it's going to tear. So that one's down good. And let's go ahead and place our next one. We will be going over these with Mod Podge. But for now, I'm just going to leave it like that and let it dry for a minute before I do that. Okay, so where do I want the next one to go? Remember, I don't want my butterflies covered up, but it's okay if I cover up the other lace pieces. So maybe that one can go right there. And I think that's exactly where I'm going to put it. Okay. Lay it the way it's going to go so I don't forget how I had it. Because with my little old lady brain, that's exactly what would happen. I would forget where I put it. Not too much Mod Podge. And be careful if you're touching where you put your other napkin. If your hands are sticky, you're going to tear it. So you got to be careful with that. Just going to stick it down. Okay. And if we need a little flower to fill in here and there, we can do that. Okay, so pretty so far. And I'm going to go ahead and work this way. I think this one fit here. I don't like that there. Let's go this way. Let's see. We need something to go right here. So let's see what will fit there and look nice. I've got one other great big piece. Oops, let's not roll over that. And I don't need that big of a piece anywhere else, so I think all my other big piece is going to go right here. And we can always cut this down into a smaller section too if we need to, and we might have to do that. Let me see how this will go. I think it will actually fit really well right there. Okay, so that's where I'm going to put that. And here we go with the Mod Podge. Too much, too much. And you're like, but you're covering up all the lace. Yeah, but you know what? It's going to show through anyway, because it's going to show through the napkin. The texture of the lace is going to show through the napkin, which is really cool. I'll show you what I mean when we get all done. Okay, so let's go ahead and put this, I'm going to put that bunch of flowers right there. Perfect. Just fit. Okay, and this little unwanted piece we're just going to cut off right there. Okay, just push it down a little bit. We're kind of molding it to our lace, which will get even more defined when we do our coat of Mod Podge over the top of it. Okay, this is looking pretty so far. Let's keep rolling. We've got a space here that we need something to go. And I'm thinking this might do the trick. Yep, it will. We'll just go right there. And that's where we're going to put it. So it's kind of like a puzzle, y'all. Figuring out where all these little pieces can go. That's what's good about this Q-tip method, because if it doesn't fit, if something doesn't fit, you can just get rid of it. Make it fit, which I think is pretty cool. Let's overlap on our butterfly a little bit, so let's get rid of that little piece. Stick it down over that lace. This is going to be so pretty. It's going to look like our butterflies are just flying through this beautiful garden. I hope this is what I am hoping to achieve with this. We'll find out if it works or not. Okay. I don't know if I want to cover that all up or if I just want to put little bits and pieces here and there. So let's go to our next big space that we have. And that's going to be up here. And I was looking at, I don't know if I want to do that. I think. How did I have this turned? Maybe if I did. I don't know if I like the angle of that too well. I think what I'm going to do is cut this out. I'm going to show y'all how this works because I think I'm going to put this little piece there. I'm going to put this piece in another spot. So let's cut this piece down. And this is how this goes. Yes, you destroyed part of your napkin, but not all of it. I think this one might work better. Can y'all see what I'm doing here? Let me move that over. Got it too wet. So you can kind of see what I'm doing. I'm trying to preserve this as much as possible. While separating them from each other. It worked out pretty well. Okay, now I've got that done. Let's see which way this fits the best. I like it this way. It kind of fits right in there. So that's where we're going to put it. Okay. All right, so here we go. I know that was a moment of intense concentration. We have lots of those. I don't know how people create when they have kids or something. I mean, my dog barks every now and then. It's just like, be quiet, I'm creating. I don't know how you mommies do it. I'm a mommy, but you know, my son is grown. I have grandchildren now. Grandchildren are just the best. I love my grandbabies so much. They're wonderful little creatures. Don't want to put that one there. I think I'll put a bigger one right there. This one I was going to put somewhere. Where was I going to put this one? I don't know. It may go here. Oh, let's see. What else do I have? What else do I have? I could put this here. And this here. I want to get rid of that part though. So I don't like that. And we may not use this whole napkin, y'all. Might not need to. Because it's getting kind of full already. Alright, okay, so that part's removed. That'll be pretty right there. And then we'll just have another little hole to fill. So this is what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to stick this one down right here. Got some kids playing basketball outside. You'll probably hear their little ball bouncing here in a minute. It's better than drive-by shootings. That's what I usually get around here. Of course, that's after dark. I told you I live in the hood. I'm not kidding either. I do. I live in a... It's, well, I mean, you know, it's a nice little... It's not a bad little neighborhood. There's just a few rough people around that, you know, like to solve their problems that way, but otherwise it's a nice neighborhood. I wish that people would just figure out a way to solve their problems instead of just eliminating them. That would be ideal, you know. I just don't agree with people's, you know, that's not a way to solve your problems. It doesn't solve anything, because you know what, you eliminate that one and you're just going to encounter another one, and then what are you going to do? You're just going to keep eliminating them, or are you eventually going to learn how to work it out? That's, you know, that's my thoughts on that subject. Don't get me started. We'll be here all day. And I'm going to use this here. I'm just going to tear that little piece off of there. I'm going to fill in this little place with this. Now we've just got these little places to fill in. And that's pretty right there. And let's see, I thought I saw another little place. Right here, we need something. And maybe right there. Okay, yeah, up here we're gonna need something. What am I gonna put there? Let's do another one of these little doodads. Let's cut this out. makes it too big. Okay. Let's put it right there. Somebody's got one of those little things on their cars that makes it sound like, I hate that too. It just cracks me up. It's like, why do that? I don't know what purpose that serves, other than to just sound totally annoying, which it does. It sounds annoying. Oh, this is so pretty, y'all. It's getting really, really pretty. I got just a couple of little places here. I want just something right there. We'll find, we can put a leaf, or we can put a flower. I think probably a leaf would be just fine. So let's cut this leaf out and put that there. Just need a little something. We just need a little something right there. Yeah, see? That's pretty. Let's put it right there. So I have a little blank spot. And of course it folded under on me. No, you don't. There we go. Okay, and maybe something down here. Where that little blank spot is. And something here. We'll put something there. You know what? I don't know if that needs anything because we're going to be putting our lace up there. But everywhere else has something. So let's put a little something there. What am I going to put? A leaf, a flower. Let's put a little flower. And a leaf, what the heck. Let's just put a little something right there. My fingers are getting sticky. Okay, now we did not use these, and that's okay. We're going to use those. We'll keep those for scrap for later, for something else. And now we're just going to go over everything with our Mod Podge. We're starting it with the big butterfly in between these two little ones. So let's just make sure we get everything covered really well. And it is a-okay if you wrinkle this in the process. That is just fine and dandy. Now you do not have to go over the whole thing, just the napkins that you placed, because everything else is already Mod Podged. You can kind of see now how that'll really be apparent when it dries, how that's, you know, sinking down into that lace and taking that form. Which is pretty cool, I think. It adds texture to your project. And I think texture just adds a lot of dimension to everything. and kind of achieves more of a 3D look. Just makes your piece more interesting to look at rather than if it was just on a flat surface. I got my little butterfly. That's okay. It'll dry. Got a little sloppy with that one. Too much on my brush. It's okay. It'll dry clear. Okay, so the bottom of our jar, our vase rather, our little candle holder, is covered. I guess this could be a vase or a candle holder, but we're going to make it a candle holder. That's what it is going to be when we get all finished. It's going to be beautiful too, I just know it. All you crafters know this, you know, you have these visions of how you want things to turn out, and then you go to try it and it just doesn't do what you thought it was going to do. I really hope this one does what I think it's going to do, because I think it's going to be gorgeous if it will do this and cooperate. If our little windows do what they're supposed to do and let the light shine through the way that I think it's going to, this is going to be really, really pretty. I'm hoping that it just doesn't look like a mess when it's all lit up. Sometimes, you know, if you're doing that, especially if you're doing like a stained glass liquid tissue paper, you have to be careful, because if you do that, you try to use, if you do too much, it always winds up looking like a big mess, and you can't really tell what your images are when it's all lit up inside. So I think we're just about done with getting everything stuck down on the way it's supposed to be. Looks like I've got a good coat on everything. Just gonna try to get some of that off of our butterfly. We don't really want it that thick on there. And you don't want to just keep going over it, because then it'll start pulling. So, all right, I think we've got a good coat on this. So let's leave it alone. Let's let it dry, and then we'll come back and look at it, and we will decorate it and put the finishing touches on it. Okay, so far so good. It's turning out really pretty. Okay, guys. We'll be back. Okay guys, we're back, and our project is all dry, and as you can see, we have our beautiful butterflies. You can see a raised area where the lace is underneath our pretty flowers, underneath our napkins that we put on. You can really see it good here. Underneath the flowers, I've put a little bit of felt on the bottom of this. I'm going to secure it down a little better. I think my glue dried too fast when I tried to put that on there. Just to kind of protect the table that it's setting on. And you can see all the little butterflies here. You can see our lace. It feels really cool because you can see it's all nice and raised, and it's just really pretty. I think it turned out gorgeous. And we're not done. We're going to go ahead and finish decorating it now. So first thing, I'm going to glue this felt down better, because that hot glue didn't really work very well. So let's use the 6000. That always works. It always works. I'm going to try that Fabri-Tac though one of these days, because I think it would work equally as well, if not better, on some of these things. But this will do for now. I'm just going to put it around the edge. That's all it really needs. Okay. And I think this is going to be my front. So I'm going to turn around this way because I'm going to start it. I'm going to start my car wash. That's what I call it, my car wash lace. I'm going to start back here. So this is going to be where I start that. And I'm just going to put a couple of dots of glue just to get this secured in a starting point. I think I'm going to pull that up just a hair. There we go. Okay. Sorry, all my allergies are just driving me crazy, as we talked about. I went outside a little bit ago, and now they're going. Zyrtec be darned. Okay, I'm going to use my little clamp just to make sure that stays put while I work with the rest of this. And I'm not going to glue the whole thing. I don't want this to show through. So I'm just going to glue here and there on these little dots. I don't want it to leak out, you know. In the open areas of this lace. So I'm just going to put a little bit. It doesn't need a whole lot, I wouldn't think. I think that'll hold pretty good. And I'm going to slightly stretch it as I go around. And I'm just going to push it in place. This way my scalloped edge is just sticking barely above the rim of our candle holder. I'm going to put a dot of glue here, hot glue, to make sure that stays in place. We'll let that set up a second. And then we'll continue on around with our E6000. Of course, it's getting everywhere. It always does. So I couldn't find the one with the little. I like the one with the little tip on it, the skinny tip, but they didn't have it at the store that I went to. And I was kind of desperate for it, and I didn't want to go to another store, so I just took what I could get. Like I said, when this runs out, I'm probably going to try that Fabri-Tac. Lori sure does like it, so. And she's been crafting a long time, so if she likes it, it's probably good. Okay. I've been crafting a long time too, basically my whole life, but I'm really more of a painter than I am a crafter, actually. I'm formally trained in oil painting, and I'm a self-taught acrylic artist. I do all kinds of things. And I'm gonna just clamp that too. Pull this down where it's more even with that other one a little bit. Now we'll clamp it. I want to get this. I want to secure that little loose end there. Okay. Clamp it. Blue stringies everywhere. Okay, our car wash lace is on. Now we're going to find our front. I love how this just swings around. It's so pretty. And, you know, our lace butterflies are just going to kind of peekaboo behind it. I think this is just going to be so cool when it's all done. I missed a spot on my E6000 back here. There. Stay. Okay. So, car wash is on. And this is our front. We know that because here's our clamp. And so now we're going to embellish this. And I'm going to start with this. And I think I want it to go about right here. Now before I stick this on, I'm going to attach our little earring that I took off of here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to poke it through. Where do I want it? How far down do I want that to hang? That's pretty. I think I'm just gonna poke it through right. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. I think that'll work. Now this is poked through. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a dot of glue here. And I'm gonna take my pliers. I'm gonna bend that up and smush it down. There we go. And now that's in there. That's not going anywhere. We can put a dot of hot glue just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Just a little dot. We don't need a lot. And our little dangly is now attached. Okay. And it's pretty. Okay, now we're gonna glue this on about right here. And about right there. And this is a little heavy, so I'm going to use a lot of E6000 on this. Because I want it to hold. And I'm also going to use a lot of hot glue right in the middle because I want it to get stuck. And we're going to stick it right now. Right there. And I'm going to hold that tight on there like that. In fact, I have another clamp and I think I'm going to clamp it down. I can get that to hold. And I need my bigger clamp. You just hold it here for a minute. See where we put it? I'm just gonna have to hold it there because it's quite heavy. And I don't want it to move around while I'm working with the other things. In fact, I may put another dot of hot glue up here. Just to make sure that it doesn't move around while we're working. A little more. I don't trust it. I just don't trust it. I'll probably put some back here too. Okay, so there we have our dangly is attached. We have our other dangly up here that's attached. It's a little off center. I don't care. I think that adds a little bit to it because it makes this hang down center. And then this just kind of flops over it and it's pretty. And so now we're going to add a few other things here. I've got some bling and I've got some roses here. I thought it would be pretty to include this red rose since we've got the red roses here. So I'm gonna put, I've got these leaves also. So I think I'm gonna put the leaf here. Oh, you can see where I'm putting it. Okay, there's one. And guys, with as much material as on here, you do realize this is not going to be for a flame candle. This is going to be for an LED candle or one of those battery powered ones. It's, you know, you don't want to use one with a real flame. You'll catch some of this stuff on fire and that won't be pretty anymore. So I've got those leaves on there and I'm going to go ahead and attach one of our rose beds. I'm going to stick that one right there on top of those leaves. And I'm just going to hold it down good till that sets. I squashed it a little bit. These are just made out of paper. But I usually like to go and go over them with a little triple thick. Sometimes I'll put some glitter on there too. That is not holding good, so I'm going to go ahead and put that another dot of glue down on there. So that'll stick while our E6000's doing its thing. Okay, got that one down. I think I'm going to put this leaf there. kind of planning where I'm putting my flowers. I don't really want to stick it on top of our sweeting. So I put that here. I don't know if I want my paper flower together or if I want my rose to go there. And I'm thinking I want my rose together, so I'm going to put that there, right here. That's where that's going to go. Let's see what kind of put over here. I'm going to use that to keep it from rolling. E6000, lots of it. We got too much. Because we're going to glue it too. And hot glue also. Because we don't want it to move. Look at these glue strings. And we're going to stick it down right here. And we're going to hold that down so it doesn't move. I'm going to give that a minute for that hot glue to set. Okay, and while I wait for that, I'm going to go ahead and clip off, this is that earring, and I know I want to use this, so I'm going to go ahead and clip off the little clamp well, that's on it, to go looking for those things later. And now it's ready to be put on there whenever I decide where to put that. Okay, and let's see, put this other leaf right here. This other leaf out this way. There we go. Make sure that stays. Our other little paper mulberry flower is going to go there. I don't really pre-plan this part. I kind of have an idea of where I want things to go, but a lot of times I'll change my mind when I get there because either it doesn't work the way I wanted it to, it doesn't look like I wanted it to, something about it sometimes just doesn't work. So you have to be a little flexible when you're designing these things. So I don't usually plan this part out. I usually just kind of wing it. Kind of like I did with the placement of our napkins earlier. You just kind of figure out where things go and stick them there. Okay, that's looking really pretty. I love this so far. Okay, now I've got blingy bling that I need to decide where to put. I've got an awful lot going on. up this way. Don't want to tuck that in there. I don't want to tuck it right there. Let me see. I don't really have a whole lot going on down this way. I think. Let me see, maybe I want that to go there. Yeah. I think I'd like this to go right here. So we'll put that there. And of course I get it everywhere. I'm gonna hold that down till it sets. So far, so pretty. And you might need another mulberry flower or two. Got that stem a little short. I'm gonna clip another one. I'll use that one on something else. I like to fold them over because it helps hold the little paper leaves on. So I like to bend them like that so that it helps hold that in place. And let's see, do I want this to go here? No, because that'll get in the way. Let's see. I think I'll put that right there. I just think it needs something right there. So put him up there. Hate it when I can't decide where to put something. Happens all the time. It's like you think you know where you want it, and then you're like, no, I don't know about that. But I think I finally got it figured out. All right, it's looking pretty, pretty. I can stick this here. I think I would like for that to go there. Keep that from rolling. That's pretty with a little pearl in it. So far, so beautiful. Okay, and then I've got these little dudes. I think I'll tuck one in right there. That'll be pretty. These don't need much glue because they'll... I'll tuck that in right up there. Uh-oh. I just tried to knock that loose. I think it's okay. E6000's got that holding on. I've got a little bee I'm going to tuck right there. I'm going to stick him on that little leaf. He's so cute. I like this little bee. There's not a very big place for you to glue him to, though. I'm just going to tuck him in right there and stick him down. Stick him on that leaf. See where I put him? Isn't he cute? I love that little bee. Those little bees are my favorite. I get those from Debbie at Kiki's sale. In fact, pretty much all of this bling I got from Debbie at Kiki's sale. Pretty much all of it. And I think it needs a touch of red back here. I don't want it all. I kind of want it to have a cascade effect, so let's put another leaf right here. I think that would be pretty. We're almost done, y'all. Yay! It's beautiful. Yeah, I think it needs a leaf right there. I'll cut that end off a little more. And then it needs that little red blingy thing. And I think we'll be almost done. Just gonna tuck that in right there. I don't want that out. That did come in done. Let's see if I can stick it back down good. accidentally hit it with my finger and I heard it pop loose and I was like, no. Once that E6000 dries, that won't happen. But we have to wait and let it dry, because it can't happen until then. I might be wanting to put one more leaf in there. We'll see what it looks like. I love these leaves. They're so pretty. So I'm going to put a leaf there. Yeah, I think I do. Let's take that off. We're just going to change our mind a million times on that. I'm just going to peel that off because I didn't really want it there. Right this second. I'm going to go ahead and put me a leaf there. And then we'll stick that down. And before we do that, I think I'm going to add a little bit of triple thick to it. And a little bit of glitter. It's going to glitter that leaf. Can't have too much glitter. Well, you can, actually. I've gotten it all over my house before. So I can vouch, you can definitely have too much glitter. And I'm also going to do the same thing to that leaf there and this one over here. Triple thick this leaf. Triple thick this leaf. Dab some on the little flowers. And glitter them all. Yeah, that's pretty. Gorgeous! Okay, now we're going to put our thing back on. Her little rosette bee bulb thing here. And hopefully it'll stick this time. I got so much glue on it, I don't know if it's going to stick or not. Get some of it off. Then we'll see. It's really smooth. I'm going to score it a little bit and see if I can get it roughed up. thinking that might help it stick a little bit. And I'm just going to hold it down. It's so pretty. I think that's kind of in the way, so I'm just going to clip that off. I don't think it needs to be there. It's kind of in the way. As is that one. Just going to clip it. It doesn't really need to be there. I don't think I'm going to stick that right there. And then we'll be pretty much finished. I'll stick it right there. Alright, do we need anything else on here? Honestly, I don't think so. I think it's gorgeous just like it is. Get our little glue strings off. We can remove our clamp. And guys, I think that's it. What do you think? I think it's beautiful. This is one of my favorite projects I've made. I think I really like this. And I'll show you what it looks like all lit up once these things set. All right. Thank you guys for joining me today and for bearing with me. I know this was kind of a long one, but I think it was worth it in the end to learn how to do this. So, yeah, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have, thank you very much. I really appreciate y'all. And you guys have a good night, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.